Hello there, my name's Joe and I'm the Programme Leader for Creative Media here at the college, and welcome to your Get Ready for College session. What we'll hopefully be able to bring you in the next few minutes or so is a better idea of what the course involves and some of the choices open to you, and we'll give you a little taster to what to expect on the course. Okay, so you made that decision, you're looking to study BTEC Creative Digital Media at Trafford College. Here's some of your choices and courses that are available to you. So you've got level 3 course in creative media production, all BTEC. You do need the entry requirements of 5 GCSEs or equivalent, of course, BTEC level 2 at grade 4 and above, and that does include maths and English. The level 3 courses offered by the Trafford College Group at their campuses, which is Altrincham and Stockport, are as follows. You've got BTEC Media Production Filmmaking, that's at Altrincham campus. You can do that alongside a couple of A levels as well. BTEC Media Practice, that's in Games Design, that's at Altrincham. You've got BTEC Media Practice Digital Content Creation, again that's at Altrincham. And BTEC Media Production, that's a bit of a mix of, you'll be doing some film, games, graphics and sound, and that's at the Stockport campus. And they're all the level 3 courses. If you don't quite get the grade you're expecting, then you do have the option of studying a level 2 with us and resitting perhaps your maths or English at GCSE to grade 4 and above. The entry requirement for level 2 is 4 GCSEs or equivalent at grade 3 and above. Level 2 programme is at both Altrincham and Stockport, and you'll do a little bit of video production, a little bit of games production, sound production and some animation as well. And the idea is a bit of a foundation year for you to have a go at a little bit of everything and try and work out maybe what you'd like to specialise in a little bit more onto the courses I just went through at level 3 and your second year. The staff, this is the team. That's myself, Joe Evans. I specialise in film production. You've got Steve Wheeler, who specialises a bit more in animation and some media theory and film theory. You've got David Maxwell, who's our games design and games production specialist. Mike McGinley, he does all kinds of things, graphics and photography and some visual effects stuff as well. You'll meet him on the digital content creation courses. And we've got our technician, Andrew Appleby, who's a bit shy, hence why he's not got a picture on there. Introduce you to the team at Stockport. We've got Ben Couch, John Oldham, Kirsty Wilkinson and Gary Prendergast. So a bit more detail then and focus on the level 3 BTEC Media Production. You can do that at Stockport and Altrincham. At Altrincham, this is the course, it's filmmaking, and you'll be doing the following units, mini subjects if you will. Media representations, and that's an external assessment which you sit in January. You've got Unit 4 pre-production portfolio, you've got Unit 8 responding to a commission, and Unit 10 film production. So essentially what you will do, you'll finish with, is coming up with an idea, filming and editing a short film by the end of it as your sort of first year major project. If you do want to go on to the year 2 of the programme, that's the extended diploma, you will be working on some units onto that, which will be Unit 6 media campaigns, that's the digital and marketing type unit, and you'll also be doing some specialist film editing on there as well. How's it all assessed then? It's a mix of written analysis and practical skill application assignments. So you're not just coming to do all the practical stuff, there are written theoretical elements to the course as well. So for example, if I just talk you through one of the units there, Unit 10 film production, you'll get 3 assignments. One assignment, the first assignment, will be where you're analysing and comparing genre and narrative characteristics of 2 fictional films. Assignment 2, you'll come up with an idea, maybe work in a team with other people, and you'll produce a planning portfolio for an idea for a short film. So things like your script, right? You'll maybe do some storyboarding, and you'll do some of the admin stuff like location recce's and legal and ethical risk assessments, that kind of thing. Assignment 3 is where you actually film and edit a short fictional genre film sequence, and you'll be using Adobe Premiere Editing from the Adobe Creative Suite, and we have DSLR digital cameras for you to access and use when filming them. We'll give you sessions on all those kind of things in order to get more practical. The assignments are graded to a pass, merit or distinction. So maybe if you want to compare that to traditional grading, that might be an A for a distinction, maybe a B, C for a merit, and a D and an E for a pass. Okay, this is the qualifications and progression. So in your first year, you're studying a BTEC Extended Certificate in Creative Media Production. That's equivalent to 1 A-level, and your progression from there would be onto the year 2 of study, which would be the extended diploma. You might have an apprenticeship at the BBC. You can apply for that at the end of your studies, or an entry-level job. The second year of the study, if you continue with us, is an extended diploma. That's equivalent to 3 A-levels. The certificate, by the way, in the first year is equivalent to 1 A-level. And where do you go from there? Well, you could go into higher education, a university course. You might want to still continue with film and media production, or do a specialist subject like journalism, digital marketing, visual effects editing, that kind of thing. Or you might want to go to an apprenticeship. You have to be over 18, so if you are leaving school and you come and do a level 3 with us, then you will be over 18 by the time you leave us. Or you might want to go into an entry-level job. These are what some students have done in the past year or so from this course. You've got Hugh there at the top. He was very into his theory. He went to do film production, University of Hull. He got triple distinction, 100% attendance, so it's the kind of student we're looking at. And we've got Hannah there, did amazingly well to get onto the BBC apprenticeship scheme. She's working on CBBC, Blue Peter. She got triple distinction star. And we also got Lewis Roberts. He applied for university but chose not to go to university in the end, because he got offered, as a result of work experience that we did with him, a entry-level job at Lad Bible as an editor, a digital video editor, which he was delighted to get, and he was really into that. Again, distinction, triple distinction star students, and they're the 3 options really that you go on to: university, perhaps an apprenticeship, or an entry-level job, a good level and creative entry-level job. Right, time to have a go. Over to you. And I think I'll just focus on doing some little theoretical exercises with you, analysing a media production, in particular a fictional genre film. So get ready. If you need to have a pen or paper to note something down, you can do that, or you can just log it in your mind if you've got a mind that works that way. The first thing I want us to look at is analysing genre. Here's some key terms for you. Genre, that's a type of film. So for example, a horror genre film. You may then get a subgenre. That's a combination of types of films. So let's stick with horror. You might get a supernatural horror, for example. And then you've got the conventions. That's the characteristics which you will always see in a certain type of film. So for example, religious symbols, if we stick on supernatural horror subgenre, then you might get religious symbols, for example, like a crucifix. You'll see lots of blood. You might have some masks, and you have suspenseful, eerie music as well. Those kind of things, the things that you just could see and you'd say that's a horror film. So the first activity I want you to do is watch the following short fictional film sequence. It's a film sequence that's done by a student this year on the course, so you get to have a little look at maybe some of the practical skills you'll be learning in terms of filming and editing, that kind of thing, and it all needed planning, by the way. You can't just turn up and film. And then what I actually want you to do, though, whilst you're having a little look and enjoying that, is answer some key questions using that theory that I just gave you. I want you to note down or have in your mind what genre is the film. I want you to decide on maybe what subgenre it could be categorised as, and what conventions, characteristics can you pick out that the director has used to identify their genre, their film genre. And that might be visual, it might be sound, that kind of thing. And the brief for these film productions was to produce a short film that was very typical of a genre. So you should be able to see that. It should be quite straightforward. Okay. Remember, media students don't just watch, they work whilst they're watching. So you can get used to that now. Here it is. This is The Inner Shadow.
What are you? Stay away from me.
Okay then, I hope you enjoyed that. You're not too scared, and hopefully you're paying a bit of attention as well. Remember, media students, they work while they're watching. So what did you come up with? Let's go through it then in terms of the activity. Remember, I want you to just really consider what kind of genre it was. And hopefully you pretty quickly guessed that the genre was horror. You could have subcategorized that as a subgenre. Psychological horror. I'd be impressed if you got that. Obviously the character in there had some kind of mental health issues if you got the narrative. There wasn't really somebody else that was trying to attack him and get him. It was his inner demons, of course. So that would be a psychological horror. What conventions, what characteristics can you pick out the director used to identify their genre? Did you see anything visually or sound wise? Well, there's a couple that I would have thought was reasonably easy to detect. You saw a weapon, there was a knife involved, there was lots of blood, the music was used really effectively, suspenseful music. There was a jump scare when the door was opened and suddenly you saw the character revealed. Hidden face of the character, that's kind of like a mask, isn't it? There's a hooded top, very cleverly hoodie put on back to front to hide the face, but it worked. And also a really crucial one, which was done in the editing, was the distorted effects, the sound and visual effects on there. Okay, activity 1 done. I've got a second activity though for you. So you know all about genre now. Hopefully it's got your mind thinking. If you didn't get everything that I've just picked out there, then hopefully you got a couple of things. The next thing I just wanted us to have a quick look at, it's really important for all the different media subjects, whether it's film production, games production, digital content. You really need to understand representations and audience and how you're trying to target those kind of people. So let's focus on representations then for our activity 2. Okay, so here's some key terms relating to representations. So you've got social status. That might be somebody who's working, it might be a manual worker, an office worker, someone who's unemployed, a student, a business owner. So different kinds of, that might be related to job. Traditionally, we did have class, which was working class, middle class, upper class. And whilst that still exists, we tended to use social status as a bit more of a modern approach to defining that. Age, young or old, obviously. Gender might be male, female, or other, of course. Ethnicity, culture, race might come into that. Sexuality, heterosexual, LGBTQ+. Geographical location, regional, that might be from the north or from the south. National, UK for example, England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, different nations. And international, rest of the world, America, Russia, different continents, that kind of thing. And one other thing I want you to consider through all those different aspects is whether they are representing the character or thing in a positive or a negative way. That generally is what it falls down to when you're analysing representations. Are they being used to really negatively represent something or show something in a very positive light? Right, let's get back to the clips then. I'm going to play you another short film from the students this year on the film production course for you to analyse representation in. Watch the clip, and it's called The Suspect, and try to pick out at least one positive representation. Okay, you hopefully get some more. I'll give you some that I can pick out after you've watched it, and you can compare it to some of the things that you picked out. Don't have to note things down, just make a mental note, and I'll go through a couple of things that I found.
Today hasn't been very successful. The company is decreasing in the number of CCTV cameras being sold. We might have to cut down on the number of employees to save money.
I don't see how that will help with the company's growth, but I suppose we need the money. Right, we've got to decide who's going to be fired. Any thoughts?
I think we should fire Ely Wood. He's contributed the least since being here, and I think it should be him.
Ellie Wood?
Yeah?
Please come up to the offices. We would like to have a serious conversation with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
It looks like you're not working up to your potential. That's why I think I'm going to have to let you go.
You're firing me, right?
Yes.
But this is the only job I have, you know?
Hello, this is Officer Elizabeth Cox. I need forensics on this case. I'm around Timperley. We have a dead body. He's a white male and he's 5'10" and ginger.
Well, Mr. Roberts,
Yeah,
I heard that you've been asking for a lawyer.
I have, yeah, that's correct.
That is within your rights. You have a right to not speak without one being present. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions. You don't have to say anything. Where did you go?
I went to the park where the person had told me to go.
Okay, so the phone call told you to go to the park.
Yeah,
And you were at the park.
I was at the park
And what did you find there?
and that's where I saw Lloyd. He was perched up against a tree, dead.
Do you think you know someone who might have done it?
I don't know. Today, all we really did was work and then fire Ellywood at the end.
You fired someone.
Yes.
And Robbins.
Yeah, 2
And
weeks.
what was the reason he was fired for?
Well, if I'm honest, we were losing money, and to save money, we had to cut employees.
So it was a rough decision. Mr. Roberts, I've got everything I need right now. I'm gonna investigate this. But for now, I'm gonna get someone to let you go and just sign some papers on your way out.
Alright.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you. No. We know Lloyd was found dead at Timley Park.
We know that Robert was called to go to Timpley Park and we heard a gunshot noise as we arrived to the case.
Robert just told us that Lloyd fired Ellywood.
Robert got an unknown phone call to tell him to go to the park and he fired Ellywood
Yes.
alongside with Lloyd.
That's all we got for now. I need you to go to the forensics and get me a report. I'm gonna go to Elliot's house and ask him some questions.
Alright.
Alright. Hello, I'm Detective Stephen Adams. I would like to ask you some questions about a murder. Is that okay with you?
Okay, come in.
Can you tell me something about yourself?
Okay.
You used to work with Lloyd and Robert?
I was their employee.
You were an employee? Not anymore?
Yeah, I was. Yesterday they let me off.
Oh, can you tell me the reason why?
That I wasn't putting in the effort I needed to in my job, and that's why I was booted. You know, that's why I was kicked out.
What was your relationship with Lloyd?
I didn't really. I never knew Robert well. I know that he is an associate or a friend or.
Mr. Ellywood, can you tell me something about Rob?
The forensics.
Whose are they?
Ellywood Robbins.
Arrest them, please.
Hands out.
It wasn't me.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed the suspect there. What genre was it? I hope you picked out that it was a crime genre. Maybe it had a thriller aspect to it as well. But what we really were looking at was the representations that were shown. And you can pretty much, when you look at something, you can always find some kind of representations. Now, this was done by a group of students this year, so it's a modern day young person's view of the world, I suppose you could. But they were trying to meet the genre characteristics of a certain genre, which was crime. So let's just dig a little bit deeper and have a look at some of the representations you may have found. Here's some that I found. So first of all, you might want to consider one representation, which was ethnicity there. Okay, you can see a little screenshot of Detective Stephen Adams. Conventionally, he's identified in the crime genre, of course. He's holding up a badge. Not too sure we do that in the UK, more of an American thing. But there it is. What did we spot then? Well, it's quite a positive representation of a black Asian minority ethnic character in a senior position as a detective upholding the law. He's decisive in his actions and without fear confronting the potential criminals. He goes round to their house nonetheless to try and sort things out. He also advises and directs colleagues and motivates them into action as well. So that's positive representation of one of those elements. I just focused on ethnicity. We've also got, I would say, a positive representation of gender in there as well. You've got a female character who is crucial to solving the case, making important contributions to discussions with colleagues. She's decisive in the action scenes in physically apprehending male characters, not once, but twice. You could say stereotypical? Yes, it may be, because the male police character is clearly in charge, and you do get lots of females who work in the police force who are in very senior positions. So possibly a very old, traditional, outdated representation there. You could, if you're nitpicking. I would say the use of the police hat stood out a little bit to me. I'm old enough to remember the WPC era, which was pre-millennium, turn of the millennium, whereby what it basically said was women's police constable. So that was identifying women as different in the force, different to their male colleagues, and actually traditionally they took on different tasks in the police force as well. So there was an element to that by having just been identifying the female police officer with a different kind of hat. Now that hat is still used in certain formal occasions, but actually there's no real gender difference in uniform anymore, so that's probably a bit stereotypical. Okay, thanks for watching this short introduction to the creative media courses here at the Trafford College Group. Whatever you're going to study, we look forward to seeing you at the college next year. A couple of things that I'd want you to point you towards for you to go off and have a little look at. Go onto the college website, you should be able to see on your screen now of how to do that, and have a look at the transition project. This will just prepare you quite nicely, maybe give you something to do creative and have a go at that's all related to the course that you'll be studying next year. And something else to point in the direction of as well, go and have a look at some of the student work from this year, because that's the position that you'll be in this time next year, hopefully having been really creative throughout the year. And whether you're doing games design and production, or digital content creation, or film production, have a look at the different sections that are on there and some of the student work, and it will give you some idea of some of the things that you could potentially produce next year. Hopefully enjoy having a watch of them too. Thanks for your time, and I'll hopefully see you soon. Goodbye.